Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. It's Tennis Daily coming at you again for another edition from the Monte Carlo Masters 1000. And it's rolling into full swing now as the clay court season takes full effect. On day three, we had some upsets. We certainly had some statements and a very nice South American surge. Fans of South American clay will be up and about after a big day from those from the South continent of the Americas. And of course, now that brings us on to day four as the big names, our top 8 seeds, start to enter the fray. Some serious matchups are incoming. As always, if you like your tennis updates, make sure to hit like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, and get involved in those comments. Let us know which players you're cheering for. Who are your dark horses to go deep here in Monte Carlo? We'd love to hear your views on it. But let's rip in and let's talk about that day 3 action. And as I said from the top, it was a South American statement. Plenty of South Americans in action and plenty of wins going their way. The clay court specialist from South America certainly delivered. And let's start with Sebastian Baez getting past Stan Wawrinka in straight sets. It was the youth and movement of Baez. A bit too much for the veteran in Wawrinka, despite all of his experience around the clay courts of the world and it being one of his preferred surfaces. He wasn't a match for Baez, who now sets up a huge matchup with Carlos Alcaraz in the second round. He managed to outmaneuver Wawrinka. It's going to be a very different story coming up against Carlos. Francisco Cerundolo, the 16th seed, knocked out Stefanos Tsitsipas. We previewed this one yesterday. We lent to Tsitsipas, but it was a straight sets upset with the Argentinian getting the chocolates. A massive result when you consider that Tsitsipas is a 3 times Monte Carlo champion, who in the alternate years from winning it over the last 5 has also made the quarterfinals. So he bombs out early, and not only does he bomb out, he is set to slide to at least world number 65. The first time in certainly my memory since he came onto the scene and burst through that he's dropped back down outside the top 50. This was his banker event at Monte Carlo. It's where he got his points each and every year, but those points are now stripped away in the world rankings. And Tsitsipas, well, he's very much on the drift. And if he drifts much further, he's going to have to start finding himself in qualifying for big tour events like this one, and certainly the Grand Slams if he goes much further. Chile's Christian Garin also got it done. He got a win over Matteo Arnaldi, a straight sets victory, and this one sets up a huge test versus Alexander Zverev, the world number 3 in the second round. That's a massive matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing if Garin can continue building his way back to his ranking peak and getting amongst the seeded positions as he pushes forward. Speaking of players that are pushing up to get amongst those seeded positions and higher into them, João Fonseca got it done against Gabriel Diallo. Straight sets. He continues to build as a serious young threat on clay. Still some work to be done, but looking a little more comfortable on the European clay. So we look forward to seeing what he can offer in the coming rounds. There were a couple of near misses for a few of the lower-ranked South Americans. Juan Manuel Cerundolo, the world number 71, and Francisco Comasana, the world number 99. Both managed to take it to 3 sets using their clay court craft, but they lost to Valentin Vachereau and Flavio Caboli, respectively, so they do depart. In terms of the upsets, though, the biggest one was Arthur Rinderknecht getting it done against Karen Khachanov. Not just that he won against the 12th seed, but the young Frenchman getting it done 7-5, 6-2, a nice, clean, straight sets upset, getting it done and closing it out against the experience of Khachanov. And he's now into a huge matchup up against Fonseca. This will be an interesting one. 2 young guns going toe-to-toe. Looking forward to seeing how this goes and how this shapes. Fonseca will probably head in a slight favourite, but we'll see how they go in the second round. So the clay specialists, they're already separating themselves from the rest. Tsitsipas' collapse means there's a huge ranking shake-up, I should say, incoming. And South America are looking stacked heading into this clay swing. Lots of Argentinians, Chileans, Brazilians, and co. getting it done and fighting on to another day into the second round. So look forward to seeing some of those clashes. Speaking about the second round, let's talk day 4 and the previews of our key matches. And let's start with Poland taking on Italy. Hubert Hurkacz up against Luciano Darderi. First ever meeting the former world number 6. Hurkacz is on 7 straight losses dating back. His last win was the first round at the Australian Open. Really tough times, real underperformance for a man who was ensconced well inside the top 10 not that long ago. Darderi, meanwhile, has been having some fun on clay. He made the semi-final in Marrakech only a week ago and also got the title in Santiago earlier this year in February. So very suited to the clay, very strong performer. We know that with Darderi. He's been on the rise the last 12 months. He's the 15th seed. He's ranked 20 in the world, and he's looking to go even further. And to do so, he's going to need to make it into the last 16 or so here. So keeping an eye on him. It's form versus pedigree, but Hurkacz's pedigree hasn't been delivering much lately. The clay court surface starts to tilt it even further in Darderi's favour, and for that, I've got Darderi winning this one in straight sets. We then go to Alexei Popyrin from Australia taking on Casper Ruud. Well, the 9th seed, he trails in the head-to-head at 1-love, but he's a 2-time French Open finalist, Casper Ruud, 2022 and 2023. At his best, he's a clay court superstar. We absolutely know that. He's got that elite clay pedigree. Popyrin has been scratching about for form until recent weeks. He's 4-10 across the calendar year so far in 2026, and he's realistically struggling for rhythm. When you look at that sort of form line, look at what he's been delivering, Popyrin, and the fact that clay's not his preferred surface. He can certainly turn his hand to it, but that struggle for rhythm as well throughout the year, although it's starting to get a little bit better. Throw in the form and the surface all together, and I've got Casper Ruud taking this one in straight sets as much as it pains me as an Aussie. And then we've got the all-French clash, Quarantine Moutet, one of the most exciting shows on a tennis court you can go and tune into, up against Alexandre Muller. Head-to-head, 2-all. They've only played once in the last 6 and a bit years, and Moutet dominated that 6-love, 6-1 in 2025 on a hard court. Moutet is up to his career-high ranking of about 31. He's in the best form stretch of his career over the last year or so. On the other side, Muller, he's had to work through qualifying, and he's a veteran. Over 400 clay matches, serious experience edge. This is going to be toe-to-toe. It's going to be enthralling. It's going to be exciting, and I certainly can't wait to check this one out. 2 Frenchmen going toe-to-toe for a spot through to the next round. This could be an absolute matchup for you. A little sneaky. It might fly under the radar for plenty. I think this will be tight. I think Muller will take him to 3 sets, but Moutet, if he can keep his composure, enjoy the entertainment, lean into the chaos a little, but not go too rogue, he'll get it done in 3 sets. And then last but not least, it is the doubles partners yesterday, come singles combatants today. Cameron Norrie up against the 5th seed, Alex de Minaur. Norrie leads the head-to-head 3-2, including a win just 4 weeks ago on the hard courts of Indian Wells. The clay record between them, just the one match. de Minaur won it way back in 2022 in Barcelona. We know de Minaur will go to the speed, the pressure, and the hustle. Norrie, grind and discipline and stick true to his game. Neither of these are realistically natural clay quarters, but both will be ultra-competitive. So it might not be the prettiest or the most stroke-happy, but my goodness, there's going to be effort galore. In terms of this, both of these will be looking to try and build into their best clay court seasons on their least preferred surfaces. Remembering Norrie made the 4th round of the French last year in one of his best clay court seasons. de Minaur, probably the year before, was his best, and he'll be looking to exceed that quarterfinal threshold that he's had at all the slams. He did make the quarterfinal of the French in 2024. This one, definitely a tone setter for their clay season. I can see it going either way, but de Minaur should realistically get the upper hand on his doubles partner and take this one in 3 sets. But the big picture, well, the seeds now enter the fray. The draw is tightening quickly with those top 8 coming in. Clay form's already started to matter. Some of those players that skipped out parts of the hard court season are showing dividends. The South Americans and the clay court specialists are dangerous floaters, and it's really going to throw some cats amongst the pigeon here. Have a look for a couple of the South Americans to make deep runs as they settle into the slightly different European clay. But as always, if you've enjoyed the show, make sure to hit like on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel to keep yourself up to date with all of your tennis and other sports news as we get set for day 4, where this tournament's really going to ignite. Big names, big pressure, and big excitement. We'll be back tomorrow on your home of the Black and White Sports No Grey Opinions, the Chris McPherson Show. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with your sports shorts as well, make sure to follow us along on social media at the Chris Mac Show on your favourite social media platforms.